Everyone says, don't repot alocasias too often, but this one is forcing the issue. Roots are already in the reservoir. It's drinking faster than I can keep up with it, and it's literally leaning towards the window. So today I'm upsizing, removing the Airstone and testing whether this system actually works. Simpler.
This plant was transitioned about 6 months ago from soil into pond and from a standard pot into a self-watering system. At the time, the goal was simple: reduce how often I had to intervene and let the plant regulate itself through a consistent water source. And overall, it worked. Growth has been steady, leaves have stayed stable, and the root system adapted fully to semi-hydro. No major setbacks, no significant leaf loss during the transition. But now we're hitting the next phase of that success. The same system that worked at a smaller size is starting to break down at this scale. Roots have grown all the way into the reservoir, water uptake has increased, and instead of the system buffering moisture, it's being consumed almost immediately. So what started as a low maintenance setup is now requiring more attention again. And that's the signal. This isn't about preference anymore. The plant has outgrown the system it's in. So there are 3 problems. The roots have fully colonized the reservoir, and that kills the buffer. The water demand has increased, meaning that this pot is undersized, and there's structural instability. It's leaning because growth is directional. This is not optional. If I don't repot, performance will decline. So I'm making 3 changes. I'm upsizing to a 10-inch pot to restore the reservoir capacity. I'm removing the Airstone because if this system is stable, it shouldn't need artificial oxygenation. And I'm adding structural support to correct growth direction.
So let's get into it.
So as you can see, the plant is leaning, and it's actually was leaning worse than this. I attempted to correct the lean by adding this stake. The window is here over on this side. So the plant is literally leaning more and more. And so this is something that I want to attempt to correct by really restabilizing the plant. The other thing that I want to do is I want to correct what we see happening here. If you look closely, you'll see that as the older leaves have fallen off, it exposed more and more of the crown and more of these roots. So I want to put this all under the pond. So I currently have a 7-inch pot here, and I'm going to move to a 10-inch pot. So I'm going to move this into here.
I'm starting by laying the plant on its side to control the weight and protect the leaves. With something this large, you don't pull straight up. You let the pot release the plant. As I ease it out, I'm not breaking anything apart. This root system is already adapted to semi-hydro, so there's no benefit in disturbing it. The goal here is 0 disruption. And this is exactly what I want to see: dense, healthy roots that have fully taken over the pot and extended into the reservoir. At this point, the plant isn't just growing in the substrate, it has outgrown the system. This is why the pot size has to change. There's no buffer left. I'm starting with a base layer of pre-rinsed leca. This creates separation between the reservoir and the root mass, and it gives me a consistent zone for water distribution at the bottom. I'm not mixing substrates, I'm layering for function. Now, placement matters. I'm setting the plant slightly deeper than before, not to bury it, but to make sure that I can cover exposed nodes at the base. This is where most people hesitate, but if those nodes stay exposed, they're not contributing to the system. I'm positioning for future rooting, not just current stability. Before I backfill, I'm adding the stakes. If you wait until after, you risk damaging the roots trying to force them in. So if adjustments are needed after backfilling, you must only insert the stakes at the exterior portion of the pot. I'm using 2 stakes, one to anchor, one to control direction. Now I'm backfilling with leca. I'm working it in slowly, making sure it settles around the roots without compacting. I'm not packing this down. The structure of the pond is what allows airflow and consistent moisture. Before I finish, I'm checking alignment and height. The majority of the root system is now covered. We need to adequately cover the base to ensure the plant is stable and help the system reset at the correct scale. As this plant matured and older leaves dropped, more of the base became exposed. And this is where most people get it wrong. They leave it like this. But all of these points along the stem, these are active root nodes. They're designed to root and stabilize the plant and increase uptake. Right now, they're doing nothing. So instead of keeping the pond at the original level, I'm raising it to re-engage these nodes and bring them back into the system. So I'm not burying the plant deeper. I'm correcting where the system should have been. If your plant is exposing nodes and you're not adjusting the substrate height, you're slowing down its ability to stabilize and grow. The last issue is structural. The plant is leaning toward the light, which means that the rooting system hasn't fully anchored it in place. I'm using 2 stakes here, not 1. One stake will act as an anchor and the second controls direction. If you only use one, then the plant can still rotate or lean back over time. This taller stake is going on the opposite side of the lean. That's what actually pulls the plant upright. The shorter stake is going on the lean side to stabilize and prevent movement. I'm not forcing this completely straight. I'm just guiding it back into position so future growth corrects naturally. If your plant is leaning and you're not correcting it, you're training it to grow wrong. Now that the plant is set, the last step is activating the system. Before placing it into the reservoir, I'll plug the base and add about 1 liter of water directly into the pot. That does 2 things. It fully saturates the pond and makes sure the wicks are actually working from the start. Because if the wicks aren't wet, the system doesn't function. As I'm pouring water over the pond, I'm not just watering the plant, I'm priming the entire system. This ensures there are no dry pockets and the roots have immediate access to moisture instead of waiting for the reservoir to catch up. Once everything is saturated, I'm placing it into the reservoir. At this point, the plant should be able to sustain itself without any top watering going forward. But this first fill isn't permanent. Within the next 12 to 24 hours, I'm going to drain the reservoir completely and replace it with fresh water. That initial soak pulls dust, residue, and anything loose from the pond into the system, and I don't want that sitting in the reservoir long term. Over the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'm not expecting dramatic changes, and that's the goal. What I want to see is stability. No leaf drop, no rapid yellowing, no signs of stress at the base. Water uptake should normalize, not spike. If I see the reservoir draining too quickly, that's a signal the system still isn't balanced. If it slows down and becomes consistent, that means the plant has adjusted to the new pot size. And this is really the test, removing the Airstone. If this setup is stable, the plant won't need it. If I start seeing decline, then the Airstone wasn't optional. It was compensating for something else. Structurally, I'm not expecting the plant to snap upright immediately. The stakes are there to guide it, not to force it. New growth is what should come in properly aligned. I'll monitor how this responds over the next couple of weeks, because this is where most systems either stabilize or start to fail. If you want to see how this plays out, subscribe and turn on the alerts for the update.